I'm TJ and this is Life Lessons. Y'all gonna get mad at me for this, but I really need to say this. I was talking to a friend of mine today, and he was sharing with me that his son, I asked him, I said, did you get your son off to college? And he said, yes, his son is a freshman. And I said, well, how's it going? He was telling me his son's been there for a couple of weeks, and he was telling me how the women are already on him. The young girls are already on him. And he's an athlete. And so he said, yeah, got this little white girl and this little Latina girl, they own him. And, this little Caucasian girl, she's really feeling him. And they have a lot of the same classes and so forth and so on. I said, yeah, she's taking her claim already. I said, this reminds me of when a lot of women were in uproars about the draft that many black players had non-black girlfriends. And I said, because, well, it was stated, the men stated that the women that were not black basically, was seeing about them, buying them stuff. And I'm not just talking about, trying to buy them, but, getting them food and being thoughtful and considerate. Whereas many of the black women, young black women were, want you to get my nails done, take me here, take me there. Whereas that the other women understand in college, you ain't got money like that. So he started talking about when he was in college, he was, working at the local wherever, and the other girls wanted the D-boys because he couldn't afford to get all the fancy stuff. But now, been married to his wife for many years, beautiful home, multiple properties. And he said, it's interesting that the women of other races, they understood the concept of going to school to find their husband in school, whereas many black women went to school to basically show how independent they could be and how much they didn't need to be with a man. And I said, I can identify with that because that's what I thought. That's what I thought, and that's how I conducted myself. And quite frankly, many of us made fun of the Caucasian girls who were going for the MRS degrees, but they knew something we didn't. Now, there's something to be said about being kind, giving, loyal, investing on the front end so you can reap the dividends on the back end when you meet that young man in college, even though he may not have all the bells and whistles, but he's trying to do something because you'll see, you'll get the benefits later. There's something to be said about that. And a lot of times other women get that and we don't. I'm just saying. It's tight, but it's right. Now, before y'all go there and say, well, everybody ain't want to be married, blah, blah, blah. Okay, all that notwithstanding. I was like that too. But sometimes things change. And how about some people do want to be married? I'm glad that my daughter didn't go about things the way that I did.